Very good. Thank you so much. Okay. So now here we are with Jokian Devi. We're here.
Hi there, I'm here, yes.
Okay.
Yay.
So now let's begin for tuning in. Okay. Straight sitting. Begin heart breath. And inhale. Long deep breath. And now we have heard from both Soul and Baba Siri Chan. Because we know about now and also with our future. Okay? Because they have said that any number of times. Okay? And this is about nutrition. Can you believe that? This is about all of us listen to Baba Siri Chand about nutrition, because what it is about and why it's going into the future. No, why are we getting nutrition for now and for the future? Okay. So now begin listening from Baba Siri Chan for 3 minutes. And if you need to, please talk. Pen and paper so that you can remember. Okay, here we go. Here starts with Baba Siri Chan and begin. And inhale. Exhale. And breathe. Okay. Listen for nutrition for Baba Siri Chand by way of Beyond Sprem. Beyond Sprem, are you here? Beyond Sprem? Okay, so now we will go with Agha Paul.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I was on mute.
Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead.
Satnam. So we were speaking, and Bubba was showing me the plane, like the line in between here and there for epigenetics. And nutrition is basically it's what we take in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Through our, as we eat, we're taking the nutrients out of the item that we're bringing into our being, but we also have other items that are within us naturally and other items that are outside of our body naturally that are also coming into this. And that is also with the way of thought of the epigenetics, how it sort of comes from above and goes through in that line of our spinal column or our the way the veins and the energy wraps around to hold up our spine and to do all of these things. And in that nutrition is not just the food that we eat, but the thought and how we're eating it, the way we're eating it. Certain cultures eat with, and prepare everything with their hands as much as they can and eat with their hands. And other cultures use utensils and they do different things with their food. But throughout time, we've walked with our food that we've found sustainability with, whether it be kale or some sort of green or some sort of a seed that we could walk with in order to create the spice trail, right? How we know that there's certain ways that we move, and with the nutrition, it becomes a way of, it's a vibration of how that sort of the energy moves through. So in certain aspects of life, whether it be with a tree or with a person, there's a certain amount of nutrition, and within that vibration and that range of what we're working with within that nutrition is a way of, it's almost like coming into the mycelium. That's what I'm being showed now is, how when we shake things up and when we see the energy of how everything works beneath the earth and with the earth, and coming into that, it's like a mushroom is what is being showed now. That that's one of the biggest organisms that we have, and it's very varied in its shapes and where it can grow and whatnot. And it also resembles parts of our brain or our body and whatnot. And it's the endocrine system is where that nutrition is going to be noticed. That's what Bob is telling me right now. That's what I need to focus more on and notice with what it is, what
Hormones,
that,
right?
yeah, what that endocrine system is physically, and what it's meant to do for the balancing of the chakras and being with that energy, that nutrition with it also comes into the technology too of the science of the brain and the body and the heart and the right down to our belly button where the disconnect from the mother of where our life came to be, right? The creative point there down in our belly, which also we could notice in so many ways with dealing with, you know, trauma or things that are passing through our body. We can notice in our stomach to the point where it can almost, it can make us want to become ill at that point if we're noticing something that's foreign to our body, but we also do have an ability to work through that discomfort. And I think sitting is a way that we can find that way of moving through that discomfort. So sometimes we need to sit in a chair or whatnot. So and that nutrition part of that is all it's everything really, and the breakdown of the word is just showing me so many different ways in the nutshell of, the way the word is and how it works together with all of that notions and potions and moving around how we're doing that in this moment of Waheguru, and there's that dancing and that celebrating and that using our voice in a kind, helpful sort of way is noticing for us to notice that power that we have within us of sharing our joy and from our weaknesses that we've experienced, we can sort of have a strength to be at ease, to not be forcing ourselves on others in a way of helping. And I think in that nutrition is the example of how there are places that food grows really well and that we can serve people food that grows from the ground and that we also eat things that may not seem sensible to some people like bugs and things that come from lower to the ground that are so in a way of where we are is how we eat, and what we eat is who we are in a sense. And I think coming into that, noticing, the sharing of the food and the ability for us to go into the nutrition of the soil and to bring that sort of, up into the surface of how we need to be mixing our soil now, the way the earth is, doing itself in the areas that we actually could make sustainable again. And that's back into the nutrition of the mind. And I think that's probably about as much time as I need to spend on that. Yeah. And because Bubba is just sort of, dancing around the fire and showing me the sun and the salutations of that, coming back to the celebration of that, the ecstatic part of our life that we can notice, in so many different ways. But there is a way of preparing because we are understanding the history of the earth and the way that it's moved and practiced and developed in so many billions of years that now we're here part of that, that nutrition of being with the earth and understanding that cycle of that coming into that Waheguru. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for that, for that childish look of coming back into the sense of the mom and the bringing forth of that support for creativity to find its way through. And if we had difficult times in our life, that there are times that we can reach out to other people for help, and that help is possible in our healing, so that, and then we can go within our own to to continue practicing that and then sharing that with others.
Okay. Thank you, dear.
Thank you, Baba Siri Chand.
Okay. Paul.
Well, I heard something different from Baba Siri Chand. Nutritional lately, in food wise, I have become a more strict vegan. So I am eating close to the earth. Um, and so as I was sitting, and I'm not sure if this is Soul or Baba Siri Chand. Sometimes I think they're the same, they're one and the same, but um, he said, think of nutrition not necessarily as food. Think of it as um, well, food that we eat. Think of it as food for the soul. And nutrition for the soul means to act respectfully, lovingly, um, without expectations, because I think you once said they will kill you. And, respectfully, without expectations, without judgment, um, and, being joyful, having a grateful attitude. This is all nutrition. This is all food for the soul. And just as we need to, keep our physical bodies that we see uh, up and able to work and help, we that's not going to happen unless our souls have the nutrition that they need. And that's what I Baba Siri Chan was emphasizing to me, is that we are each other nutrition for each other's souls. And yeah, so that's that. And then um and we have the ability to really really lift the energy of the world through our, so I'll call it soul nutrition, and as opposed to soul attrition, which is happening a lot around.
Okay, I don't say those words again.
Soul nutrition
Yes.
as opposed to soul attrition.
Oh,
In other words,
yeah.
where people are just, falling away and just dissolving under the weight of this craziness that's going on in the world. So to keep strong, that's what Bob Siri Chan was emphasizing to me. Soul nutrition, of course, nutrition for the body as well. And I think that's it.
Good. Now let me ask you one more thing. In the
Yeah.
beginning, you were talking about vegan. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, being vegan. I was saying how that's a food nutrition, right? That um it's like being it's like eating, like being a vegetarian,
Hmm.
and you know and going into that realm of not ingesting um other than plants, and so I was talking about being vegan.
Hmm. Okay.
you
And
know because I feel very strongly about this. Goes into a whole nother thing about animals,
right.
and how the other day I was just tearing when I read, I shouldn't have opened up YouTube, but there was, some things there about abuse of animals and pig farms um but and how we can be so um um like mean, and we don't recognize it. It's like the mindset that we are of a higher uh level than the animals. And I I am just so upset and sad about, because when the animals are dying and they're dead, they're angry. So I stopped eating meat when I was in college because somebody was talking to me about that there I don't want to ingest the anger and so forth. And um so but um I guess kosher when is a whole different thing, but still you know I I don't I just ingest vegetable, um beans and grain, and complementary protein, and nuts and all of that.
Okay. And what about, um, let's see, what about fish?
Fish, no. The only time I grew up with at a lake, and fishing was the thing, and I would take the fish off the hook for the boys around, and and I throw them back. And so uh there, but I must say, I if I'm out somewhere and fish is served, I bless it, and if that's the only thing I have to eat, I eat it.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, what about Jokian Devi?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, I got our shift affects every aspect of our new world, as if we are starting over, but we will be more aware. We will be assisted and work together. Do not live in fear. Look for ways to work together to grow our food, clean our water, and live sustainable lives. We will have more awareness of how important nutrition is, and how we will live better lives through this knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you saying only about plant-based?
Oh, I just think I surely believe in what we eat and how it matters. I mean, with all the chemicals that are tossed around in our current world, I think we're going to come to I think we are coming to a bigger awareness of how that affects us. And I'm delighted to see it.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, I personally take it in my own hands, is to either grow it or make it organic in some way. It matters. To me, it matters. But I think if we're talking about nutrition, it's coming from Baba Siri Chand, that's how deep the shift that we are already entered into. It's how it affects every aspect of our lives. And that actually makes me less aware that I don't have to go into fear, because we will know what to do. I think we'll be helped. And I think nutrition, of course, it's an everyday aspect of our lives. And I think we'll figure out a better way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And with Baba Siri Chand, are there anything in particular about some kinds of food or and so on.
Okay, types of food. I
Yeah.
did not get, it was much more full picture. Yeah, more full picture. And then my personal take is the organic and how things are grown and how things are processed in, and that's in each one of our lives. We're so used to the large system, the grocery stores, or the way the system is run. I think it's going to be more personal, more hands-on, as it is for Agara Paul already. I'm not a vegan, but I do believe in treating everything with great respect. I think we'll have a greater awareness. And from what I heard right now, it seems like we will all be living with more awareness and on how we treat our food and how we treat our lives around us. That includes animals. It includes plants. I don't know. I just think it's probably a better thing on where we're moving in.
Mm-hmm.
So since we don't know it, it's scary. And since anything with big change and how things have been run, it's scary. But I got a feeling we'll just get into the flow and figure out, oh, well, I can do that. That's why the neighborhood is so important. We have community meetings. So I just get to know my neighbors, and that's been really cool. And that awareness right there is a new awareness. I don't think it's all new. I think maybe in other generations they did something, but for our generation, it needed to happen. So maybe we'll have just more community of awareness and working together. And I don't know the answers there, but I do know something's changing. So we may as well be prepared for something changing.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Because why would Baba Siri Chand give us nutrition? Because he's going that basic. It's an everyday need for our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So this must mean we're shifting in a very basic way. And I guess we'll just have to reinvent it as we go.
Say it again.
I imagine we'll have to reinvent the nutritional aspects as we go. What do we come down with? What now? And I think we're probably industrious enough and aware enough to figure it out. Do I think it'll be easy? Well, I'm hoping so, but no, I think whenever there's change, we always have to work at it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're going to be capable. I think we'll be given the tools. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay. Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
Okay. Jumpa Saraswati.
Satnam, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing that I got is that the whole planet is undergoing this shift. And it has to do with how much of the planet is being used for agriculture and green space and living things, that it used to be that the majority of the planet was for green and living things, and now the majority of the planet is for concrete and stuff like that. So we have made some toxic environments for the food to grow in. So that means that we have to be increasingly more aware of eating natural and organic things and eating wet things. I'm seeing to eat things that are live. Like that's what I mean by wet, that it is still living and crunchy is part of what I'm seeing from Bubba, that it's vital and full of nutrients in that way, and that is to be our effort, because because the farming cultures are becoming toxic, that it's becoming difficult to find even organic things that are truly organic, that haven't accidentally cross-pollinated with things that have been genetically modified, and that there are additives and preservatives in the majority of the food now in the majority of the commonly available food. So the idea of a food desert being like when I lived in Sanford, Florida, that place at that time was really a food desert. I had to drive a half hour to get to a Whole Foods, even though I was kind of in a city. But the grocery store, the Winn-Dixie, literally you could not buy anything organic. You couldn't get, and you had to drive really far in order to get quality foods. And what Bubba showed me was that being the case, but it looking like, there's a food store over here and there's a food store over there, but that food is going to be filled with palm kernel oil and all sorts of hydrogenated things and, modified salts and oils that are really difficult for our bodies. And so part of us taking care of our bodies is just making the effort to get these foods that are wet and crunchy and nutrient dense superfoods that can help to keep us regulated. Because also the rest of this message, what Bubba showed me was about food insecurity locally as well as globally. So that can mean, what he showed me is that can mean a pest coming and wiping out an entire crop of such and such, and then that really affecting the ability to export that crop because we are on such a NATO economy, that that there can be a pest wipe out something on the other side of the planet, and it can affect us being able to find this product in the store, and that's happening more and more. And so what he showed me was for us to have nutrient dense things on hand in our pantry for the event of an emergency, like dried grains and dried beans, and also a supply of water in case that the water system becomes fouled. Baba reiterated that we need to keep a supply of water on hand that we can drink during a time of emergency. And myself, so I want to tell you guys, my grandfather was a Jewish grocer. He had grocery stores, and I have the heart of a grocer with first in, first out, and like rotating your stock. So that means to keep water, and then like maybe once a month change out the water that's in the back of your closet and drink the water that's in the front of your closet, and try to do that also with the grains and stuff so that we have a supply of nutrient dense foods, and also the water. So Baba showed me about the water being really important also for our nutrition to help flush us. That's why I'm seeing wet foods, is that we're going to be subjected to environmental stressors, and that it's really important for the sake of our bodies to be regulating ourselves with proper nutrition and proper flushing through water. And also proper sleep, that sleep, he said, was part of our nutrition in the same way that, that we need to take care of ourselves by eating proper foods. We need to take care of ourselves by sleeping in the ways that are healthy for us. And then the line from Japji, I said this line from Japji last week, and I looked it up again. Where is it? So it starts at the top of the podi. It's talking will never make you a saint. It's by the actions you do again and again that you create your own life and death. What you eat is what you sow. Let me read it again so it's a little more fluid. This is from Japji. Talking will never make you a saint. It's by the actions you do again and again that you create your own life and death. What you eat is what you sow. And that was the image that I kept on getting. I kept on getting that message by the actions you do again and again. So Baba said, if we can in any way to be growing our own fruits and vegetables, foods, whatever we can do to grow our own and to produce our own. And that's part of that, what you do again and again, that's tending our own garden. Because food insecurity is about to become not like we can't necessarily go to the store and buy it, but like the store might not have the things, and it's really important for us to tend our garden and to be in touch with the land in that way. It's by the actions you do again and again that you create your own life and death. What you eat is what you sow. So what that means, he means it energetically, but I get the image whenever I hear that line about the birds that eat like raspberries and then they poop out raspberry seeds on another field, and then raspberries grow on the other field. And that's what I think of when I hear what you eat is what you sow, that those birds then moved raspberries to grow right where they want to be eating them, where they're flying over, and it's increasing their territory. And that's what it means nutritionally. So I keep feeling like I want to tell you guys about it, but when I first met you, Siri Gian, and I was practicing yoga like it was a full-time job, I was also drinking mostly juice. I would juice for usually 3 days at a time, and then I would eat for 2 days, and then I would juice for 3 days, and I would had that rhythm. And my system was so clean running because because I was just, all of my nadis were so open. And when I would get low on juice, I would drink, like a couple of quarts of juice a day, and especially carrot juice. I improved my eyesight. My eyesight had been I was like in my mid 30s, and my eyesight started to get a little bit fuzzier. And I said to myself, well, this is what it means to get a little bit older, like you might need glasses someday. And then when I started juicing like this, I had this experience over and over again with the carrot juice of it improving my eyesight right before my eyes. My eyesight became clearer, and it was like crystal clear for years. And now my eyesight is getting a little bit fuzzy again. And I know in my heart of hearts that I need to be in carrot juice a couple of times a week. And when it would be toward the end, like if I was like a couple of hours and I hadn't had a juice, because I would be sipping on it all day long to keep my glucose up. If I like ran out of juice and had to get home and didn't have any juice, when I would have the carrot juice, I could feel this direct transfer of the nutrition. I would, put these organic carrots into the juicer, and then the liquid that came out was just basically all of the nutrients from inside of those carrots. And it would be, like 5 pounds of carrots or something. And if you were to chew up all of those carrots and eat all of that nutrient, it would take you an entire day to eat 5 pounds of carrots. But when you juice it, you can get all of the nutrients from 5 pounds of carrots in like a quart of juice, less than a quart of juice. And if you put an orange with it and some ginger, yum yum. Um, and anyway, I would have this experience of then like juicing these carrots and put the juice to my mouth, and I could feel this nutrient, this instant nutrient transfer from those carrots to the cells in my body. I felt the cellular repair, and it was absolutely magical. But part of the message that I got today is that not every diet is for every person at all of the times, and that we have different phases of life, and that everybody has different um, it's going to be different times, like for everybody, depending on where we are and what we can get, what is available, and what we personally need nutritionally or socially. Like Aggie Paul, I really feel you, because occasionally I'll eat fish, but I try never to tell anybody that, because when I go out, I feel like they all try to push fish on me. And I'm not, I really don't do it casually like that. But on the other hand, I grew up with backyard chickens, and I'm up here in Maine, and having like humanely treated chickens, and these eggs that are just, I feel like, part of these chickens' healthy lifestyle. And I know the farmers, and I have no problem eating eggs right now, but there have been other times in my life when I really feel the call for low protein, because I feel like that clean running thing that I was doing was definitely a vegan thing. That was definitely me at vegan optimal nutrition, but I don't think I could do that right now. Like that's not where I am right now in my life for living off of juice, I mean. You know, um, yeah, so I think that's my message. That was it.
Hmm, okay, that's important.
Mhm.
Good. You know, it's also um possibility, and that's very good. Excuse me, to listen to soul and or Baba Siri Chan, to just listen, to take your food at that moment. How
Mhm.
about that? Can you think of that?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, because that's really important to get ready to become nutrition, to make it the best way that we can make nutrition here.
Mhm.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that. You just open the refrigerator and you say, "Oh, okay, so now what?" Now we make them for the recipe. Yeah, it's right there. And also, same thing happens if if you're really able to see organic in your garden or
Mhm.
also in your grocery, just to take those wonderful um, uh, food things, and that is to give those foods right there, and do that from soul. Isn't that amazing? Can you do that?
I'm visualizing my pantry, and I'm at the cabin, and I'm having a rodent problem, that the rodents got into they're chipmunks. They're probably chipmunks and probably also mice. And I had a bunch of soup that not just soup, but soup and coconut water and all kinds of things stored in my pantry. And they chewed through the boxes, like those carton boxes. That's how they spread all of this liquid soup and oat milk and coconut water and all of these things. And as you're saying it, I'm visualizing how to refill the pantry with wonderful things from the local farms around me. I'm really in a great area for farming. So I'm visualizing drying things and putting things in mason jars in my pantry to make then soups out of over the winter.
Wonderful.
Hmm.
That's great. Okay, so Baba Siri Chand is listening to get not from other people, but only from Baba Siri Chand or soul, right? Because things are going to change. And that's important. So might as well start it now. Okay. Because that changes for your body, or as things are changed. You know, do you remember Yogi Bhajan said that because of the food, it will be very difficult to get food. And so he said to get to know wheat berries. That was it. Because that can sustain us. Of course, we would love to have what do you call them? The vegetables now, of course, but we need at least what you were talking about, keeping them ready to use that. Okay, so that's the times for wheat berries. So try that and see about that.
I never had wheat berries.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Have
Well,
you had wheatgrass?
oh,
Sprouts I've
Ye-
had.
Oh,
Yeah.
you've had the wheatgrass sprouts?
Yeah.
I used to love juicing wheatgrass and I would grow it and it's made from wheat berries. You take the
Oh,
wheatgrass berries and you
yeah.
sprout them and
Oh.
then I would wait until they got, like 5 or 6 inches tall and then you use a masticating juicer and
Mhm.
it grinds them up and
Cool.
wheat berry juice is so incredibly nutrient dense and
Oh.
it hyper oxygenates your blood because the chlorophyll when you take it, if you take it on an empty stomach, the chlorophyll gets immediately absorbed into your bloodstream and chlorophyll really bonds very readily with oxygen.
Mm.
So you can do it's an amazing antioxidant, but it does like cellular
Cool.
repair on such a wonderful level. And I'm really happy that
Oh,
Siri
thank you.
was just talking about wheatgrass berries because maybe I'll go track down some wheatgrass um, soon. I'd like that.
that's right. And we need a special kind of juicer if
Hmm.
you're going to have the wheatgrass. But it's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much for everybody.
Hmm.
So now, um, Joe Gian Davy, can you lead us to the song?
Sure. Okay. Take a deep breath. On the exhale. You won't do another breath. I lost my breath. Okay, inhale. And begin. May the light sun shine upon you. All around you. And the pure light within you. Guide your way. Guide your way. Guide your way.
Inhale. No. God bless you all. This is a new way, isn't it?
The new way.
Mhm.
God
Thank
bless
you,
you.
everybody.
Okay. We'll
Okay.
see ya.
See ya.
Satnam.
Satnam.
Thank you.